Adonis D. Johnson. You are now tuning in to the Mighty Monday Meltdown 2.0. I am my life coach too. I want to greet each and every last one of you, wherever you are at right now. I'm grateful that you made your way onto our broadcast, onto our station. I promise to keep it clean, but I also promise to keep it moving. My name is Adonis D. Johnson. I am the creator of I Am My Life Coach. I Am My Life Coach is a mental health self-awareness tool, right? It's a self-awareness tool that allows you to ground yourself. Imagine going through life like a balloon, right? You holding the balloon, you walking around, and somebody just lets you go, and you floating this way, you floating that way. That's some of us right now, right? That's been some of us right now. We've been in the hands of other people, right? And they just let us go when they want to let us go, and we don't know where we going, we don't know how we gonna reach what it is we looking for, right? We got dreams, we got ideas, we got, some of us, we really do have some answers to what we want. But what we have not mastered is the problem. The problem to why we have not fulfilled what it is that we desire to fulfill, right? Well, me, myself, personally, I lead by example. One thing that I do when I come into contact with the people that I'm around, they always ask me, what made me want to be a life coach, right? I said, wait, hold on. Life coach is a little bit too strong for me. I always wanted to be a motivational speaker, right? I wanted to be motivated. Well, what brought on that motivation? Well, the opposite, right? I grew up in an undeveloped home, right? My parent was a single parent, so that was undeveloped right there, right? The school system was undeveloped, right? Just in a bad time, right? And watching my brother, it was motivation to me because he used to always just want more out of the situation. And I just watched him, and me watching him struggle, me watching him carrying bags, me watching him wash cars, me watching him, right? With a paper route. And then he decided, right? You know what? I want you to follow me while I do my paper route, right? I'm looking like, but you got me running out behind you, right? And he basically, what I had to do while he was delivering his route, he wanted me to learn his route, right? And when he laid the papers, he wanted me to come back and take the papers. And then once I took all the papers, when he finished the whole route, we go up on the corner and we sell the papers, right? And that was motivation because we was able to go shopping, we was able to go buy some things. And what I'm saying is that I come from a background that thought outside the box, right? Outside the box, right? And for many of us, we are in a box right now. We work with a little, trying to do a lot, right? It don't matter what area in your life, right? It ain't just finances. We talking about relationships. We talking about even from the spiritual sector, right, to any other sector, right? The government sector, at your job, at your school, it's the exact same box, right? There's somebody smaller, there's somebody smarter than you, right? And there's somebody you smarter than, right? At your job, there's somebody that actually make more money than you, right? They make more money than you, but you don't really care that they make more money than you. But then there's some people that hangs with you, right? That they make less money than you, and you hang with them. Well, what am I saying? Why is it that somebody that make more than you don't hang with you, but the one who make less than you, that's who you hang with? This can be an issue, and this causes a lot of problems right now because some people are really smart, right? And it seems like the smart people don't hang with smart people sometimes, right? But sometimes we can forget that the smart people really shouldn't really hang with you, right? Because it's off balance. Or if you were smart, you wouldn't hang with some of the people because energies transfer. But what I'm here to bring forth is that I am my life coach. It grounds you, right? And I believe that if you can be grounded, you can channel energy a lot better. You can channel up, you can channel down, you can channel left, you can channel right, you can go in, you can come out, or you don't have to move at all. But we have to know what we're doing, when we're doing, why we're doing, and the way we have to do it. That's why I came with I Am My Life Coach. As a motivational speaker, I'm motivated to get things done. But unfortunately, they took motivation and stuck it with inspiration. And now some of us, we're spiritually inclined, right? I mean, hey, we talk about God and somehow we hear about God. People talk about God and they giving you God and God did this, God did that. And for some of us, we looking like, well, why God ain't done this for me? Right? Why God ain't hearing me? Right? Why we need to come up and ask somebody else to pray for us? But what's wrong? Why my prayers not going through? If my prayers are not, why? Who said my prayers weren't going through? Right? But some of us, we are misled by our own understanding because we're not allowed to ask questions, right? In a group setting, we got to move with the flow, right? If they walked in the door, you walked in the door, then guess what? We both walked in these doors. These doors didn't come. They didn't walk in our doors, we walked in those doors together, so we all on the same level. Whereas just with this broadcast, I look to lead by example. I know that if you made your way on this broadcast, if somebody shared this broadcast with you, if you hear my voice for the first time, light your fire. That's how it goes. If you see some people commenting down low and you see that fire, that means because they're lighting their fire. Why do they say light the fire? Because my name is AJ the Wildfire, and fires transfer. You need fire what? To see things. You need fire what? So you can burn away things, burn away old things so that you can get new areas. Back in the day when it was the crops get high, right? On an open piece of land, they used to light the fire so it can burn all the old weeds away. So now we can chop the ground and replant. And for many of us, that's why you have to light your fire right now. I understand that this thing gonna end up going a little quicker than you, but guess what? We were a little bit further than this little light of mine. But if I gotta give you this little light of mine and we gotta start slow, then I'm only gonna start slow for a minute. But once my rhythm catch, once I get it, then I'm gone. And I just hope that you can roll with me. Why? Because I'm not on this broadcast just for you. I'm on this broadcast for me too. Didn't I tell you that I lead by example? I think that if you adopt some of the same principles that I adopt, then we can get the same results, right? I can't get to helping someone till I first recognize I need help, right? But I can't look for somebody to help me till I look for how can I help me. See, it took a lot to just say that you need some help. Now, what am I going to do about it, right? What am I going to do about it? You see, there's an I connected to myself, right? I is my thoughts. Myself, that's Christ. That's my will, right? But me is the one that's in trouble. And for many of us, me is the one that's in trouble. Your mouth gets you in trouble. The reason you act the way you act, that's what got you in trouble. Some of us, we did things too quick, too fast, and now that we done learned more about this thing called life, we're trying to figure out how to get out what we got in. And the mind is truly a battlefield. Joyce Myers wrote an amazing book. It's called Battlefield of the Mind. And you will never think that your mind will turn on you the way it do. You will never think your mind got a mind of its own. When you want to do the right thing, you do the wrong thing. When you want to let how it go, you end up back with it. When you want to go right, that thing will have you going left, and you'll mess around and say, I just said I wasn't doing this and did it anyway. I'm telling you, the mind is something else, but guess what? I Am My Life Coach will ground you. I did it, and you can too. I'm here opening up these broadcasts so that we can do it together. We can learn together. If you got your pencil and your pad, I want you to write down the five laws to leadership. I want to get this in your system. There's some things you're going to need before we even get going. One of the things you're going to need is you're going to need the 5 laws of leadership, right? The first law is I do it. I do it. Many of us, we expect more out of others than we expect out of ourselves, right? Everything we want to participate in, we want to know what they're going to do because we want to see the before and the end. We want to see the outcome. Some of us, we met on failure. They had to fail in order to meet you. They had to fail in order to meet you. Some people, it ain't that they cheated on somebody. It's actually they cheated themselves, right? They cheated themselves out the best, and they end up settling for less. And now it's time to get bigger, better, and greater, and then here come you. That's how it works now. You understand what I'm saying now? That's how it works now. When you ready to level up, God got something already ready for you. But many people don't want you to elevate. They want you to decline. They want you to go lower, right? They want you to be around them, right? Because your situation is identical to theirs and theirs is identical to yours. And that right there should tell you in the wrong atmosphere. So what I look to do now is I look to set the atmosphere. I look to reroute the atmosphere. I look to create the atmosphere. That's why we here, because we looking for something new. Just by showing up, you getting something new, a new perspective. A new perspective bring new thing. But I didn't come to agree with the way you think. I came to challenge the way you think. Well, AJ, why would you challenge the way we think? Because without no challenge, there'll be no change. And for many of us, we done got comfortable in nothing. And God created us for everything. Everything. He gave us power. He gave us dominion. I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to use a little wisdom. I'm going to use a little I'm gonna lose a little spiritual. I'm definitely gonna go in the word. I love the word, but most importantly, I have to open up my heart, right? I have to open up my heart, and I have to allow some of you to connect to me. Now, let's be clear about what connects to me mean. Connects to me meaning, hey, I'm trusting what's in you. Right? It ain't about what I do. It's about how I do what I do. And what I'm saying to you is that you can connect to that right there. That's worthy. For many of us, we have to start moving things out the way, right? Because the mind, the eyes, they want to see what it want to see. The ears, they want to hear what that it want to hear. But put all your attention on you today. Put all your attention on your vision today. Put all attention on your dreams. Some of you, you got rid of your dream. You lost your dream. But I'm here to restore your dream and tell you, it ain't over yet. It ain't over yet. For many of us, you don't need to wake up and smell the coffee. We gonna wake up and sell the coffee. That's what I mean by new perspective. Old perspective got us old things. New perspective will get us new things. You play childish games, you get childish prizes, right? You ask dumb questions, you get dumb answers, right? At this point, we gotta recognize that we have to encode things. So first, you're gonna watch me do it. This is number one on the laws of leadership. One is I do it. That means you. You have to do it first. And what am I saying by do it first? That means practice and keep practicing. You practice loving somebody, it didn't work, then maybe you need to readjust it a little more. Maybe you said yes too much and you need to learn how to practice no, right? But what am I saying? At least you practice, at least you active. You can't keep asking somebody what you doing wrong, right? What you doing wrong is not going to determine they're right. What you doing right is not going to determine they're wrong. What you doing is what you know. What you doing is what you know. The more you know, the more you grow. And today we here to plant what has not been planted. Some of you, you don't need water. You don't need a seed, right? You don't need no rain. It's time for you to reign. But your reign is not R-A-I-N. Your reign is R-E-I-G-N. And that is kingdom minded, queendom minded. That means taking it to the next level. You see, we can get in the same group and be like, we're waiting on the rain. We're waiting on the rain. I ain't waiting on the rain. I'm waiting on my name to be called. And many of you, your name been called. Your name been called to do great things. Your name been called. It wasn't called because you was qualified. It was called because you was disqualified. What disqualified you was the surroundings, the people around you. He was not going to give you what you rightfully deserve in an area that was already polluted and diluted. But what he did is stuck you in the worst area so you can work on your craft. You can work on who you are. You can work on your no. You can work on your maybe. You can work on your, I need to see how you going to handle this little. Why do you think he gonna give you a lot before you look at how you gonna handle the little? And for many of us, you better light your fire right there. Light your fire, because that's your authority right there. You have authority, been there, done that. You have authority, been there, done that. I done seen that outcome. And for many of us, that outcome did not bring in no income. Let's be clear. That outcome didn't bring in no income. But if you write the book to it, if you write the book to it, if you write the song to it, if you make the movie to it, then you can reap off of something that you already sold. You done sold into your experience. For many of us, we done got drugged. We done got left behind. Come on now, maybe I ain't talking to you, but I'm talking to me. Don't you want to know the one who's speaking to you right now? I ain't speaking because I had it all together. I'm speaking because I want to get it together. I'm speaking because I'm smart enough to know that today that all that matters is that I'm open right now. All that matters is my ears is open, my heart is open. I'm assertive. I'm direct. I'm grounded. I'm listening. I got you guys standing here. You logging on with me right now. That's all that matters right now, is what we about to do in this moment. And if we can stand strong, hold our position, then I know God can deliver right now. That's what I do know, right? One, I do it. Two, you watch me as I do it. What am I saying? I'm saying Don't, isn't it amazing that people invite you to different things and you come out and you're a part of a service? This ain't no service here. I don't really have notes for you, right? You get it just like I get it. I just ask God to help us as we both trying to figure this thing out, right? Together, right? As we trying to figure it out together. My results is not your results. Your results is not my results. But even if you're getting results in your life, one thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to refresh, revive, be revived, right? You're going to have to realign. You're going to have to relaunch for many of us. And we did it before, but we got to do it again. I don't know what you want. Nobody knows what you want, but I'm here to make your mind, challenge your mind to compute what it is you need, to manifest what you need. If it's not for you, then it's for me. That's just how it works, you guys. That's just how it works, right? I do know that it works. So one is I do it. Two is you watch me as I do it. Three is I watch you as you do it. I don't expect for you guys not to come back. I expect for you to come back. But if you do not come back, I wish you well. Tell somebody about I Am My Life Coach. This was a broadcast that was put together for a community of leaders building off of ownership right now, owning up to what we need to do. This ain't about accountability. This is about ownership. Accountability means I have the ability to have an account, but for many of us, check your bank account. Are you happy with it? Many of you, check your account. How many times you overlooked somebody else's mistakes, but the moment you made one, right, then they couldn't overlook yours. And you're looking like, are you serious, right? My point is the reason you made a mistake because they couldn't help you with the mistake you made. And God wanted to show you that they don't have what you need. Right? Many of you probably never needed nobody else. Why? Because you was the strength for the weakest area. Come on now. Let's level you up and take you to an area you rightfully belong in. You might not need nobody. You might need to pull off the energy because the flow is different. The air is different. The environment is different. The communication is different. The conversation is different. That's why I look to talk to you the way I talk to you. That's why I open myself up the way I do. Because for some of us, we just need conversation. This is my gift. This is motivation, to be honest with you. The reason you don't hear it like this is because I told you they took motivation, stuck it with inspiration, made it sound churchy. So now we dealing with the chakra. So now we can sing a song because we can monetize it, right? We can monetize a song and you can learn a song. And now you're singing my song and my song makes you feel good, but it has nothing to do with your life right now. It doesn't pay your com ed bill. It doesn't pay your car note. But you can sing while you're doing what you need to do and it can distract you, which could be good because you could be singing, but you're still handling some things that you're handling. Well, that's inspiration, right? This is why you can't talk about God and money in the same conversation because God gonna do it for you. But at the end of the day, I'm the one that's saying, well, what you gonna do for God? If God gonna do it for you, then what you gonna do for God, right? So I'm the one that make it plain, make it simple. I'm the one that makes the bridge to say, hey, listen, without no money, we don't make no impact. They ask for money in these bills, they ask for offering, and yet I'm walking around here giving everything I got for a relationship, giving everything I got for a friendship, giving everything I got for companionship, and yet I can't ask for anything. It just has to be, I'm going to receive whatever they give me, and I'm giving all I got. Come on now. Listen, that is not the goal for me, okay? That is not the goal for me. It shouldn't be the goal for you. And that's why we can agree on that right there. Light your fire for that. Light your fire for that, you guys. I have an amazing word for you, but a few things I wanted to say in an example, right? I was just thinking, just like even with us, right? I look for examples, and one, I was looking at the fact that if you was riding your car on the expressway and the police got behind you, but you was speeding a little bit, what would you do? You will sit up, right? And you will kind of slow down and possibly put the seatbelt on, turn the radio down a little bit, right? And you begin to say, oh, man, I hope they don't pull me over. I hope they didn't get me, right? What am I saying? It took for what you to see to make your adjustments. That's what I'm bringing to you. I want you to see your life and start making some adjustment, meaning I'm adjusting to what I need for what I participate in. See, many of us, we participated in things and we didn't have what we needed, so we failed and we're still failing. Right? We want a relationship with whoever this individual is. It could be a pastor. It could be whoever. But guess what? I'm hearing them, but they don't know me, right? I don't know nothing they've been through. I don't know nothing I don't know if they know anything about finances. I don't know if they know anything about homes. I don't know if they know anything about restoring credit, right? I don't know if they know anything about being dropped off, kicked, left for dead, or parenting. Some people, and I'm just telling you, these are your concerns. Many of us, we have turned our environment into uh, our therapy, right? We depend on our environment, and our environment ain't qualified. I lay with this broadcast, take me off life support. When you think about life support, right, the first thing come to mind is somebody that can't live on their own, right? This is deep. Somebody that can't live on their own, right? People have been taken off life support, and when they got off life support, they die, right? That means their mind is just not computing no more, but they're on life support right now. They breathing off the machine, right? For many of you, many of us, take us off life support. What am I saying? The people that we are around, they're taking so much from us that we can never become established. They have more needs than we have. They depend on us more than we do. We depend on us. See, how can we help them and can't help ourselves? That's the strategy. That's the trick of the enemy right there. I'm supposed to be here for everybody else. I'm supposed to believe in my mind I can help everyone else, but nobody helps me. Isn't that amazing? Life support. Right? That means I cannot breathe on my own, live on my own, because my environment got me so drugged up into it that now I cannot stand. I'm afraid to be alone. I'm afraid to walk by myself. I'm afraid to start a business. Even when I start a business, who am I thinking of? I'm thinking of people that don't support. Why should these people have me on life support and they don't support my life? They don't support what makes me bigger, better, greater. They don't support what's going to advance me. What they do, they drug me, right? They drug me into community political affairs. What they do, they drug me into religion and make my fight they fight, right? I mean, make their fight my fight. That's not my fight. But if I'm going around listening, then somehow I get drugged in because my ears never get tired of hearing. My eyes never get tired of seeing. What do I get in the grades? Never get tired of taking people. This is in the scriptures. Life support. Take me off of life support. Wow. Why am I saying that? Because for many of us, the moment you come off life support, you will have life. You're supposed to have life. But see, we have no support because it takes away from the life. So we on life support because the people around us have your name in conversations. And you can't get them. That's why it's called a generational curse. My auntie, my mama. Light your fire, you guys. Go deeper. Somebody say go deeper. I got to go deeper on this one right here. Take me off life support because I understand that I did the best I could in the worstest area, and it was never enough. Your child's time is to operate and go through some of the things, but you can't put me in what you in when I already been in what you in. I have to get out of what you in so you have a little more wiggle room to figure this thing out for yourself. But I have to get to another level. Many of us, they hold you back, keep you down so that you're not getting what it is you need to get to, so you don't have the resources to pull somebody else up out. Come on now. Many of your environments that you are in, it keeps you stagnant, right? Life support, because they holding you. Why they holding you back? Because if you get out, then you'll remind them that they stuck in. But here's what I'm trying to explain to you. They got out and you still here. Isn't this something? They got out and you still here. When they was going through, you was praying for them. When they was going through, you was there for them. When they was going through, I'm talking about any and everybody. I don't exclude nobody. When he said take off the old, that means everything. But I got to look at the old that I got to take off right now. For many of you got prohibited from your takeoff, so you never had a launch. Many of you thought you've been in a 10-year relationship. My first relationship, when I was in, right, for 10 years, and nothing came out of that 10 years. That was not a relationship. That was cheating right there. You cheated yourself out of 10 good years to mess around with something that was not right. You didn't have everything you needed to fulfill what it is you was in. What do I mean? You was isolated, right? Isolated, separated, right? From who? From Christ. He called it antichrist. What am I saying this for? I looked at a movie, and the movie said A man without no honor is a nobody. And for many of us, people didn't honor you. Why? Because you didn't honor you. Well, why didn't you honor you? That's because you did not do the work that it takes in order to become you. Come on now, light your fires on that right there. Today it's about getting to work. Today it's about going deeper. Today it's about landing on the line. We done seen the good in life right now. What was the good? The good was what I wanted to do. I wanted to be the best one for them. I did everything I could. That was the good. Tell me the bad. It did not work. It did not work. You know, he said he cheated, she cheated, whatever the situation is. They lost their job. That was the bad thing, right? Well, guess what? It's about time for things to get ugly now. And what do I mean by ugly? Meaning we should be a lot further than where we at right now. And that don't mean we can't be where it is we rightfully need to be. That just means that we first need to make sure that we plunge ourselves and purge ourselves at this moment so that when we light the fire this time, we identify right now that, man, he just hit something. And if I hit something, I pray I hit it to the core right now. I pray that when I sit here and say whatever it is that caught your attention, that was your intervention right now. That right there, that was your extraction point right there. That it's about to get ugly. That means I gotta say what I never said. That means, hey, I'm not looking at how you think about me no more. I'm looking at what I think about you now. And now that I see that I have sacrificed my tomorrows to sit here and deal with you in my yesterdays, I ain't moved further. I ain't went nowhere. I've been stagnant all this time. I sacrificed my tomorrow, my next level, to sit down here and comfort you. Come on now, you guys. Light your fire. We will not be in darkness. Not today. Let's get this Bible out. Yeah. Let's get into this thing. Come on, y'all. Let's go into the scripture. Let's go into the scripture. We got a bad system going on right now. I wanted to first tell you in my own mind, this is not scriptures yet, but this is scripture. I was thinking, right, there was two things that Jesus, right, and I'm using Jesus as a reference point, just so you'll know. There was two things that Jesus told Simon, right? Simon was Peter, right? Two things that he taught him. The first thing he told, Jesus told Peter, right? Wait, I think I got it already up. If I don't worry about it. But I just want to see, do I have it all the way up, right? Let's see, do I have it all the way up? I think I do. Okay. In Mark 1, I had it all the way up, right? Mark 1:16, you can just note this one, right? Because this is not my message, but I wanted to give you this message. As Jesus walked beside the Sea of Galilee, he saw Simon and his brother Andrew, right? That means that two people getting called at the same time. They on the same frequency. Some of you on the same frequency as somebody else. You on the same frequency as me. What's that frequency? You can write this down. Bigger, better, greater. That's a frequency right now. I only want to hear about something that's going to make me bigger. I only want to hear about something that's going to make me better. And I want to hear about something that's going to make me greater. Anything else I cancel out. I disable. I don't do well with that. So that's my frequency. I hope that we can connect on that frequency right there, right? So look what happened. Andrew cast a net out to the lake, for they was fishermen. Come follow me, Jesus said, and I will send you out to fish for people. Stop right here. Listen to what I'm trying to explain to you. This is the first command that Jesus said to someone. Follow me. And for many of us, the issue is we have a problem with the following. Because when I'm following some people, they don't make sure I'm well fed. When I'm following somebody, they're not aware that I'm following them. When I'm following somebody, they overlook me. When I'm following somebody, right? This is the issue that people have right now. Jesus said, follow me, right? Follow me. And for many of us, how many people following you? Remember, I do it. You watch me as I do it. See, if I'm watching you as you do it, that means I'm following you. Right? You watch me as I do it. That means you're following me to make sure I'm doing it right. And that's what I want to stop right there, because now that you see I'm watching you do it, follow me. I'm showing you how to be a better you by grounding you and showing you the yin to the yang, the up to the down. You see, the moment you want to go up, it creates down, but we have to master being down. The moment you want right, it automatically creates left, which means if we want right, that means we actually going left already. What am I saying? I'm trying to bring balance to your mind so that we can see this thing from a horizontal standpoint as well as a vertical standpoint. This is the beam. This is the cross. Like this and like this. This is why when people, you see them in the movies, they be like, duh, 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 duh. That means, hey, guide me, God. Be with me when I'm making choices and decisions. I don't want to fit anything that's ahead of me right now, right? Somebody sit here and touch your head and put the little oil on your mind because they're trying to say, I need you to think about what's going on right now, right? And what's presenting itself. So he wanted him to follow him. Many of you, you follow people for what? For giggles? You follow people on social media for what? Because they what inspire you, but where's your motivation at? Inspiring you is one thing, right? Everybody can talk about God. God spelled G-O-D. You spell God backwards is D-O-G, dog, right? So one way is God, the next way is dog. But my point is, how deeply rooted is it in you right now to understand that the words that's coming out of your mouth has to be rooted somewhere, right? It has to be deeply rooted. So Jesus told them to follow me and I will teach you, send you out to fish for people, right? Now, this is the best teacher, but you was fishing for fish, right? But I'm finna now increase your network. I'm finna increase your surroundings. Some of the places you going, you ain't fishing for people. You sitting up here like a fish, right? You sitting up here like a bump on a log, right? You coming in environments, they don't hear your voice. You walking in because you looking to be fed. But here's the last thing. Come on now, light your fire. Two things Jesus said and I'm going to my message. One, follow me and I'm going to teach you. And I want you to write this down if you guys got a pen or something. That is, in this particular season, right? We're going to listen, we're going to learn, and we're going to execute. Because this time you're going to be fishing for people. It's not what you see in me. It's really what I see in you. And my point that I'm trying to get that's like, I should have named this that. It ain't what you see in me, it's what I see in you. And for many of you, you got scared. Because when you saw something in somebody else, you forgot that you still it was something you needed to do. You want them to see something in you, but guess what? You ain't done the work. See, right now it's about doing the work. This is why when we see something in somebody else, they working on what they working on. We very turned on because we see them working. But then you find out you love them for being who they are. But you want the same back in return. But guess what? You on a different frequency. You on a different level. For many of you, you're going to have to level up, right? What I see you do should inspire me to do more of me. If God gave me the eyes to see something, right? Then he got to have me seeing this for a reason. But for many of you, you done messed around and allow what you see, the good in something else. And you like, I see the good in you, but your son is messing up. Your children is messing up. I see so much potential in them. But at the end of the day, God is seeing so much potential in you. See, what you looking at is looking at you. You see the best in them. But are you putting on a show because you know they looking at you? Remember, I do it. I watch you as you do it. You watch, wait, I'm sorry. I do it. You watch me as I do it. See, while I was doing what I was doing, when I noticed you, I started watching you. But me watching you, knowing what you can do, only encouraged me to do me even better. Because for one, you're not me. For two, I've been me. For three, I know there has to be a bigger, better, greater inside of me. Come on, you guys, light your fire for that right there, right? So the first thing Jesus told them was, follow me, and I'll teach you to go get some fish for some people. It was certain type of people that Jesus told them to fish for. But here's the last one before I get into my real message, right? The last one was at the end, and it really rocked me. When Jesus was leaving and he talked to Peter, the same one that he went to first, he changed his name from Simon to Peter, right? And he said at the beginning, follow me, I'll teach you to fish for people. The last thing he told him was to feed my sheep. Hey, Peter, you love me? Yeah, feed my sheep, right? Last thing is feed my sheep. And what am I saying for many of you? Why didn't he call Peter a sheep? Because he knew that what Peter was capable of doing now, he can be a provider. And for many of us, you want to look around and you done put yourself as a sheep. And you've been looking for sheep's wolves and sheep clothes, or you've been looking for yourself as sheep. But I'm here to decree and declare today, you was never meant to look for a sheep. You was never meant to be a sheep, mean be innocent as a sheep, because I don't need to hurt nobody. Why? Because I know what I know. The more I know, the more I grow. I don't have to manipulate nobody, lie to nobody, misuse nobody, abuse nobody. I don't have to beg nobody. I don't have to trick nobody. I don't have to persuade anybody. All I have to do is be who I'm supposed to be, and God gonna give the rest to me, because I'm doing it with purpose. I'm doing it in time. Come on, y'all. Light your fire for that right there. Come on, the music done went off, but you gotta light your fire for that. That was good, right? Take me off life support, right? Now, I don't need nobody to feed me now. I don't need nobody to feed me. I feed myself. I feed myself, right? That's why we come on this broadcast, because you can feed yourself. And what you're going to find is some grown adult individuals operating around you. They should be able to feed themselves, but they can't. You know why they can't feed themselves? Because they've been feeding off of you. They've been feeding off of your peace, right? That's why you don't have no peace. They invade your space. It says knock and the door will come open. They don't even knock no more. They come in, girl, what happened with this? Or man, bro, I'm going to need this. I ain't asked you what you been doing, what you up to. Is everything okay? I see what you got going on. They don't care if you in school, you behind on your bills. You see all these bills, and they still ask for stuff because they didn't knock. They just came into your life and you let them. Remember I said this, I didn't say this, but remember, a man with no honor is a nobody. See, people got to put some honor on who you are. They have to honor your work. You have to honor it first. How can you teach others and don't teach yourself? We here to teach ourselves right now. This is called self-manifestation, so you can become self-aware. I'm aware that I should have done more. I'm aware that in those last previous relationships I got in, nothing could ever have happened. See, we wanted them to take us somewhere. How could they take you somewhere that you ain't go to God first about? Some of you want somebody else to take you somewhere. You ain't even talk to God like, God, look, if I go there, can you provide me with what it is I need when I get there? See, we are praying, or we're making requests, but we're not asking for everything we need to fulfill the position that we actually applying for. We applying for a position, God. You don't have to give me everything. Go with this position now. And for some of us, we in a position, been in this position for so long that this position done knocked us out of position, and now we don't know where we at. And now we need to get out of this. Some of us, we need to get out of this hole. Everybody, every time something go wrong with somebody, first name they call is yours. First name should be God. Why they calling you? This is a rude awakening right now. You should not be the first name somebody call. Somebody should be calling you, and it should sound like this. You know, I was praying and God told me. Praise God. Praise God. Hallelujah. What did God tell you? Some of you, well, I just get paid Friday. You already trying to intervene on something. And nobody told you to go on your bank account. Nobody told you to offer your little coins up, right? God gonna bless me back. No, he not. Because you keep breaking the protocols that goes with the order that governs your life right there. The order that governs your life and your life only. I got a word I want to kick to you. The word, what governs that person's life is get yourself together. You're going to have to fall. Remember, he's the stumbling block. So some people get saved by stumbling. Some people get saved. That's how they meet God, by falling on their face. And they can't fall because you keep falling for them. Ain't that something? So God got to take you out of position just to get to somebody because you keep getting in the way. Come on now, light your fire for that right there. I mean, I'm trying to get your fire lit. It don't matter what it's going to take to light your fire. We just got to get it lit right now. We're going to John 10, you guys. John 10. Finna move quickly and quietly. Got to be quick with this. John 10. Mark 10. Sorry, Mark 10. Mark 10. Ooh, Mark 10. Here we go. Mark 10. Mark 10. Now this is interesting. Mark 10, verse. I was gonna give you one verse, but then I saw something else and I said, we need this. Go to verse 35. Mark 10, 35. It says, then James and John, son of Zebedee, came to him. Teacher, remember, Follow me. I'm going to teach you how to fish, right? This is what happens with you as well as myself. Watch this. Teacher, notice many of us, we never really been taught. We just been around hooping and hollering and pretending. We ain't been taught how to love no more than we been loved. You know, I need somebody to know how to love me. Sign up for yourself. Love yourself. Why somebody gotta know how to love you? If you knew how to love you, you wouldn't want nobody else to love you, right? Because love was meant to be given away. Love was meant to be given away. It's an expression. It's a form that makes you do what you do because you're worthy enough and big enough to do it. But if you're gonna do it and expecting something back, that ain't love. Okay? That ain't love at all. You understand me? God didn't say, hey, I'm going to send you Jesus, but I want you to die in return and send yourself back to me since I sent you something that I love. No, God sent you Jesus knowing that if you accept him, you'll be better. And I pray that if you accept his word the right way, that it will make you better. Every time you show up, you'll be better. The more you know, the more you grow. Come on, y'all, let's move. Look at this. He said, teacher, they said we want you to do for us. We want you to do for us whatever we ask. Don't this sound like some of us? They telling Jesus, we want you to do for us whatever we ask. Some of you, you like this in your relationship. I get with him, he don't listen to me. I want him to do me, buy me this, take me shopping, take me. Now this is men here talking, okay? These men. I want you to do for us anything we ask, right? But watch this, you guys. It says, we want you to do for us whatever we ask. And some of you, you done messed up right there. Whatever I ask of you, right? I'll do anything for you. Don't work like that. Watch this. It says, verse 36, what do you want me to do for you? This is Jesus talking. Question is, if he asks you right now, what do you want Jesus to do for you? I got Sister Sonia here. I feel great. Peace and blessings, everybody. I'm smiling because my overseer done showed up. It's time for us to take it up a notch. I got people in this building, but the spirit is lit right now, you guys. We got the fire going. We in power. We in fire right now. We in spirit right now. We in truth right now. Come on, you guys. Journey with me as I journey with you. We on Mark 10, verse 36. Jesus just asked them, what do you want me to do? Now, when they ask Jesus, we want you to do whatever we ask. Whatever. Have you ever been with somebody that wants you to do whatever they ask? Like, and this is why we get hurt, because we want people to do whatever. I should be able to ask you for anything, and you don't even know how to ask yourself for what you need to make you better, right? But watch this. He asked, they replied, let one of us sit at your right and the other at your left in glory. Stop right there. You ain't worked for my glory. You did nothing for some glory, but yet you want to sit here and be on my stage. What am I saying? One want to be a side piece. Here go another side piece. I want to be in your life, and I just want to be one of the chosen. See, many of you got to understand this right here. This is Jesus, and somebody that's been around Jesus, that he been training, he been teaching. I want to ask you something. Now, you've been around me this long to get this comfortable, and when you get this comfortable, you're going to ask me, can one of you sit on this side? Y'all don't came up with a plan on your own. Come on, y'all, the schemes that people do, right? Can I sit on this side and one gonna sit on that side? And this is how you get a side piece looking stupid as ever. And Jesus sitting up here. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all, I ain't never heard it like this now, but they got comfortable. Many people come in your life, what they do? They get comfortable. They get comfortable and ask you for money. We supposed to be sisters. Man, we done had 20 fights being sisters. I ain't never fought with none of the people out in the streets, but you will fight with family members. People done did you wrong in the name of uncle and auntie. People done sit here and talked about your mama. And you looking like, wait, hold up. That's my mama. You talking about, and I'm trying to tell you something. People get comfortable with you, right? Look at this. It says, let me sit on one side and somebody else on the other side. Look what Jesus tells him in verse 38. You don't know what you asking. And what am I saying for some of you? Some of you, you don't know what you asking for. And I pray that we get it together. I pray that we level up. I pray that we get better in our requests. We get bigger in our approach. And we get greater when we come talking to God right now. If you going to use God, then God has to use you. But you're going to have to make it make sense. You keep trying to take a nobody and turn a nobody into somebody. When actuality, you was the nobody. And God turned you into the somebody. And now nobody's want to cloud your space now. Come on now, look at this. You don't know what you asked. And Jesus said, can you drink the cup I drink? Stop right there. For many of you, all the stuff you had to endure, come on now, is in your cup. Why do I know it's in your cup? Because that's the blood. The blood represents the cleansing. Yeah. The blood represents what you've been through. The blood represents all the things you had to kill. The blood represents the cleansing, the washing, the things you had to wash yourself of. Can you even drink from my cup? Some of you, you done died several times in situations right now. The relationship to you up, losing a significant other, a parent, a family member to you up, a child to you up. You done died. And somebody want to sit here and come and hijack your life and think that they going to run you, think that they going to be over you. They want you to be their sex slave. They want you to be something on their behalf. But at the end of the day, it ain't submissive. When you submissive to the God, to the Lord, that means I'm open for whatever you want. That means I'm so open, you can't do nothing but see God when you see me. I know people, I pray for people. I say, God, anybody you sit around me, let them be so submissive and open that I just see you all in them. And I'm grateful that God answered my request on a day-to-day basis, that I'm able to identify when people show up around me. My spirit makes them grow up for others, right? I got to get to this other message I got for you, so I got to push a little quicker. It says, can you drink from my cup, right? Not to mention, many women can't drink from a man cup because that go a difference right there. I don't want to drink from a woman cup. You understand what I'm saying? Because the stuff she endured is totally different from the stuff I have endured. But I'm going to own my cup. I hope that you own your cup. You own your role. You own your position. You own what you didn't do just as much as what you did do. Some of you, you should have bust their head, but you didn't. Some of you, you could have went off, but you didn't. Some of you, you could have asked, but you didn't. Some of you, you tried to help them when you should have really took everything. That was your moment of truth. You could have asked and you could have got it, but you didn't. And you missed your turn. And somebody came right in and took what was rightfully yours, but you thought you was doing them a favor by trying to show your heart. Well, at least I have done this many a time. I have put myself on a line, showed people that they could trust me, and yet and all they still did not trust what it is. And I gave it all, and they still thought that it was fun and games. And I'm sitting here telling the truth, but it ain't nothing like telling the truth. If somebody think you lying, boy, that is the worst hurt you can ever come in contact with. And for many of us, that's where we at right now. So let's go deeper, right? It says, can you drink from the cup that I drink from, or be baptized with the baptism I am baptized with? Stop right here. Many of you, you baptized with something else. Light your fire. Today you got fire. You got fire and you got spirit, which is power and authority. That right there, that's what sets you apart. You got power and authority. And I ain't trying to preach it. I'm trying to tell you to light your fire, because Jesus just said your people cannot be baptized with what he baptized you with right now. And that's clarity. And for many of you, you got clarity today. You got comfort today. Comfort in knowing that it ain't over for me. Comfort in knowing that I'm on the front line now. I ain't expecting nothing to fall out the sky. I ain't expecting something to just show up. I'm expecting to grow up right now. I'm expecting to be ugly right now. It can get ugly, but maybe it's about that time. Maybe it's time for me to put it on the line. Maybe it's a time, hey, we talking about the good, the bad, but this time it's about to be ugly. Why? Because now I got to tell the truth. I got to tell the truth about what's going on around me. And I got to tell people exactly what it is, because he told me to tell them, right? Watch this. Look at this. We can. See the line right there? We can. They answered. Jesus said to them, you will drink the cup I drink and be baptized with the baptized I am baptizing. I'm baptized with. But to sit at my right in my left is not for me to grant. Stop right there. See, you can learn from me. You can mimic me. But when it comes down to the seat of authority, that is not my call. That's God's call. See, because he ain't going to let. Remember, what is a person to gain the world then forfeit their soul? Forfeit meaning if nobody honor you, then they ain't honoring the God in you. than you's a nobody. But for many of us, God calls us to be somebody. That means you're going to have to honor, or you're going to have to honor what you find God in. So remember I said that when you can see somebody and you can see God in them, then you got to honor what you see. That's why I do what I do. I do what I do because not what I saw you do, it's what I see in you, not what you see in me. And for many of us, it's a two-party part. It's what I see in you, and that's why I do some of the things I do. But the other things is I cannot forget how to constantly refresh my character, constantly revive myself. I'm full of potential, and I want to activate the potential that I'm full of. I want access. I want to be able to use the power, the hidden manner. Things about me that I'm learning, I want full access to that, right? So I can get the job done. Come on now, light your fire, you guys. We going in right there, right? So look at this. I got to get to this next message real quick, right? Here you go. So he said, to be able to sit in my seat, it ain't my job to put you there. God got to do that, right? This place belongs to those for whom they have been prepared, who have been prepared. Write this down. 5 P's. Proper preparation. Many of us, you haven't had the proper training. You haven't had the proper conversation. You have to have the proper revelation. God speaks through you through revelation. You have to tell your testimony to yourself over and over and over again till you realize this wasn't nothing but God. Proper preparation prevents, poor performance. Many of us, we're performing poorly amongst our peers, and there's no honor because it doesn't look like God is present. Come on now. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. And for many of us, we're performing poorly because we're not properly preparing ourselves amongst our peers. And it appears that God is not present with us. But today, we ground ourselves through spirit and truth. I am my life coach. Look at this, guys. Watch this. It says, but the seat belongs to those that are prepared. And for many of you, you keep trying to get in seats that you're not prepared for. That means when I get in that seat, I'm going all out. When I get in that seat, I have to rule in that seat. I got to make decisions in that seat. I got to reign in that seat. Many of you, you need to understand you want the seat, but what goes with the seat goes bigger, better, and greater. It comes with power and authority. And if you can't handle that seat, then he gonna knock you out that seat. And for some of you, you don't allow people to keep you from getting your seat because you've been hanging around with the circus, right? That circus is over. I told you, play circus games, you get circus prizes, right? That's how it works. Don't wake up and smell a coffee. Wake up and sell a coffee. And who you going to sell it? You're going to sell it because you're going to make a profit this time. So look at this, right? So I want us to jump from there. I'm going to leave it there. Let's park that. Come on down to verse 46. Mark 10, verse 46. I'm going to run this back for the last time, and then we out of here. I pray us out of here because I got to move, right, in time. Hey, y'all, peace and blessings. Thank y'all for joining the Mighty Monday Meltdown 2.0. I am my life coach too. That's why we here. We here to get bigger, better, and greater. We here to refine ourselves. We here because this is where we choose to be, right? It's called the Mighty Monday Meltdown because we recognize we want to melt everything down because we big enough, we mature enough to build it back up. Some people don't believe in tearing themselves down. That's the first thing I do every day. Let me tear me down. Let me check me. Now let me put me back together. And when I put myself back together, I ain't worried about nobody breaking me down, because I can put myself back together. I can break myself down right before you and be back strong within seconds. What am I saying? I'm saying that's the same gift that I have, skill. I'm showing you how to do the same thing because it can be duplicated. I do it. You watch me do it. I watch you do it. You do it by yourself. Then you go show someone else. That's how this thing works, right? In cycles. In cycles. We learn proper preparation prevents poor performance. And for many of us, we have performed poorly because we did not properly prepare ourselves. But now that we properly preparing ourselves, guess what? The tables has turned. People are performing poorly when it comes down to you. They sitting here thinking they don't even come up with good lies no more. And yet they think you're supposed to do something. You're just looking at them like you're lying, you're lying, you're lying, right? And they got to honor you, but they lying to you. And guess what? You can't do nothing for them because they should know better, right? Look at this. Mark 10, verse 46. They came to Jericho, and Jesus and his disciples together with a large crowd were leaving the city, and a blind man, keep this in mind, a blind man, right? Keep this in mind, a blind man. Y'all know I love my little examples, right? A blind man, Bartimaeus, right, was sitting there by the roadside begging. What do I mean? He was blind and begging. What am I saying? Some of you, you're so powerful that you don't let somebody what? Cut your lights out. Now you can't do what you should be able to do because you're too busy looking for somebody else's direction, and God trying to use you so he can direct you. When he directs you, you will lead others. But instead, you are looking for someone else, and the someone else that you're looking for is actually waiting on you. Come on now. The roles is reversed. The picture are reversed, and you done got this thing off. So guess what? They're blind now, right? A blind man, and he's begging, begging. How are you begging and you blind? Some of you want God attention. You need God to do something for you. You fasting and everything, right? All this stuff you doing. And yet, you doing all these things, right? You doing all these things, right? And you connected with God. You have not because you ain't asked not. Knock and the door will come open. Seek and you shall find. Ask and it shall be given to you, a push down measure. But you ain't asked, so you do not receive. What am I saying? And when you ask, and for some of us, there's going to be a point in when you ask, right? So watch this. The blind man, let's get back. He's sitting. That means he's not moving. He's stagnant. Watch this, you guys. He's on the roadside, but what he doing on the roadside? He's begging. He's begging for some attention. He's begging for some direction. He's begging for a handout. Ain't that sound like our story? I'm begging for a wife. I'm begging for a husband. I don't even ask for nothing. I mean, I don't ask for nothing to you. I barely ask, begging, because you shouldn't be asking. You should be giving. Ain't that something? I don't ask for much, but you're supposed to give everything you got, because freely he gives to you, freely he takes back. Freely he gave it to you, freely he take it back. He said, give and it shall be given to you, a push down measure. But who was the one that was going to be giving you a push down measure? It was your God. See how blind we can become, right? Blind and begging for something we never had to beg. We just forgot protocol because no one taught you how to fish for people, right? That's the teacher. Watch this, Jesus. Watch this. When he heard, see, when he heard, some people gonna hear you different. You need to get around people that can hear you different, because the ones that hear you the same, they gonna keep promoting what you have always got. Girl, you should hang in there. Girl, you should stay with that. Girl, you should, and that's why you can't tell your business to them. These the ones you better not talk around. Do you hear me? Let me close your mouth, okay? Listen to this. When he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, right? Stop right here. The man was blind and the man was begging, but he heard who was around. And when he heard who was around, right? He heard who was around. Who was it? It was Jesus of Nazareth. What am I saying? Some of you got the exact same power. That means the Jesus of Sonia. See, Sonia is she's like an overseer, right? She's so powerful, right? But when I go to her for what I need, right? I can listen to anything she has to say because I know who reports to her. I mean, I know who she reports to. I know who she reports to. I got to go quick, you guys. The phones is shutting down on me. Hold on. I don't want to shut down for this message shut down. Let's do this. Hold on one second. Let's do this real quick. Let's make some adjustments. Let's put this like this. Hold on. Let's just fix this. I ain't going to even get out of order. I'm going to stay with it. Wow. Okay. By that time, I can promote my shirt. Okay. That should work. There we go. Okay. So, here we go. Watch this. So the blind man, right? He heard, oh, it's Jesus of Nazareth, right? Jesus of someone else. See, I want to be around people that's blessed. They said the fruit don't fall far from the tree. So if you find a blessed person, you can get around a blessed person because they got a Jesus that hears them. And sometimes the Jesus that they talking to is the Jesus that you can actually talk to when you talk to them. So it's like the Jesus that's in them can talk to you. You get what I'm saying? Even if you have a reasonable doubt about your connection, you can be around somebody. Remember I said you can see something in somebody else and you can see Christ in them. Remember I said you can see and be like, something about them. Jesus, that's what's about them. They got a Jesus, right? You can connect to them and the Jesus in them will talk to you. and they will bless you. They will provide for you. They will encourage you. They will empower you because the Jesus that's in them, they are obedient. They call it yielded vessel. That means if Jesus speaks to them, they won't tell you what they think about you. They will tell you what Jesus is actually saying to you. This is what I'm saying to you. So watch this. This person said, wait a minute, this is Jesus of Nazareth, right? This is Jesus of Nazareth. So what happens? Wait, let me just type this in. Closing out. It says this is Jesus of Nazareth. Jesus of Nazareth. Wait. Oh, right here. It said this is Jesus of Nazareth, right? He begins to shout, Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. Stop right there. How did he go from what he heard to son of David? Because this blind person understood how it works. Look, one sentence it says Jesus of Nazareth. The next line he begins to shout, Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. Relationship. Relationship. That's the connection. I heard it was Jesus of Nazareth. That means people heard that this person is blessed. But when I heard he was around, let me talk about relationship. Jesus, son of David. That means I understand something. Have mercy on me. Listen to this. Many rebuked him. Stop right here. Rebuke means when you start talking, people telling you, it ain't gonna happen. She always talking. He ain't never gonna do this. He don't love her. What am I saying? They talking under their breath about you. This is why I'm saying you gotta level up. This is a real level up, you guys. I'm asking for more out of you. I'm asking for more out of you. I'm asking that you ask for more out of you. You have to ask for more out of you before somebody else can get anything from you. You don't have nothing else to give on a lower level. Everything you need is on the next level. I pray I come into your presence right now. I pray that God give you more. I pray that you become bold in what you're doing. I pray that you ask for increase so that you can perform properly right now. I pray that not having enough by being operating off the bare minimum done properly prepared you, that you know what to do when you do receive something. You're going to act the same way because now you know how to be responsible because you had a little and you was responsible over it. You thought you was in love and didn't have nothing to be in love with. Come on now. You took the worst and made the best out of it, but it still was the worst. And that's one thing you can lie to you, but you can't lie to God. And God's saying your lying days is over today. You want bigger, better, greater, and you ready for bigger, better, greater. You going to give it all you got, not because you deserve it, because they deserve you, because the relationship deserve you, because you're gonna have to give more to get more, and you gave everything you had to the lowest situation, and now that he removed you over, it's gonna be smooth sailing for you. Light your fire. To God be the glory. That is so. Look at this. Yeah. It says many rebuked him. Why y'all rebuking me? I tell you why they rebuking you. Because you are calling out for something that's not them. Has somebody ever talked about somebody that you said you got friends with somebody, but it's not their friend, and they want to talk about your friend? I got a connection with somebody that's not your connection, but you got a problem with my connection because I ain't talking about you, right? Isn't that amazing? Look at this. Many rebuked him. Many. Like, shut up, right? And told him to be quiet. What am I saying? Some of you done silence yourself to accommodate somebody else around you. You ain't happy. You look around here like, you slamming doors in a relationship you participate in. Come on, man. I ain't getting nothing out of this. You know I ain't happy. You ain't done nothing for me behind. So you ain't happy with this? With what? What is this? This is a disrespect for God. God Almighty and got us living like this. Come on, man. Something is off. Let's fix this situation. Let's fix this. This is not my story. I had a dream before, and whatever I did wrong is not worth this right here. I will not leave this earth like this. I will not sit here and be around operating where people still talking about me. I will be around people that can compliment me, that can validate that God is working in me and through me, that it is a blessing to even know me. Come on now. You will grow up every relationship that you're around, because when they see you, no good conversation don't make their way to you. You got that? You don't get caught up in foolish conversations. They don't even bring your name up no more. They know that you don't got time for it. Been there, done that, seen it all, done it all, and it does not pay. It don't have a return, right? Watch this. Many rebuked him and told him to be quiet, but he shouted all more. Stop right there. That's the bowl I'm asking for. When somebody try to shush you, somebody tell you what you shouldn't do, who is they to sit here and tell you when you should do what you should do and the way you should do it? Come on now, how they gonna tell you when to pray and the way you should pray? How they gonna tell you to turn your music down and stop talking about God? Every time you talk about God, they want to tell you about something else that ain't got nothing to do with you. So I had to tell somebody, they talking about, I said, listen, they got in trouble. I said, maybe you need to serve the right God. Because if your God ain't producing no fruits in your life, then I don't want to hear about your God. Maybe you ain't got no God. Maybe you need to change your God. Maybe you need to have a new Jesus. Maybe you need to go find some Mary or something, because Jesus might not be working for you. You might need to go find something that's working for you. But don't take away what works for me. And for many of you, you got to be so strong on what works for you, because God chose you because you was real about it. They might be talking about Jesus, but you actually experiencing Jesus. And the one they talking about is actually inside of you. And when you come, you going to be the Jesus that they talking about. But unfortunately, they looking for something that they looking for what they want to see, because they looking at your old errors, not looking at your revelation that God is using you in spite of all the abuse that you have taken. Come on, y'all. Light your fire. He shouted even more, Son of David, have mercy on me. Jesus stopped and said, call him. Why didn't Jesus call him? Didn't I tell you Jesus going to call somebody else to come and get you? Jesus is going to call somebody else to come and get you. You going to sit here, sometimes when you want to sit here and go pray at home, he going to put somebody's name in your head and you just call them. You're going to be talking to Jesus on cell phone. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? They're going to start praying. God told me to tell you this. God told me to tell you this is how it's going to happen for you. And I want you to listen. I want you to learn. I want you to execute, because they ain't asking you for anything. They using their time right now, right? They're using their time to get you what you need, because it's beneficial to them as well. See, me holding on to what's for you ain't working for us. But I got to give you what it is God told me to give you. If that's a clap, I got to clap for you. If that's some acknowledgement, because you don't get your full authority until I release what he told me to release to you. And for many of us been held behind because people supposed to bless you. People supposed to acknowledge you. People supposed to say, no, I'm not even going to take nothing from you. You need to get the best. I want you to have the best. I want you to have better than I have. Why? Because I want to be connected to you. Isn't that amazing? People are so selfish. They don't even want to put you on the throne, and you've been waiting your turn. But I pray that God remove you and take you around and he downcast them, because that's how it works. Right now, they've been blocking you, and they don't know that sometimes what been blocking you or hindering you, they not coming up against you. God got to make an example out of them. And I just pray that he make it easy for them. Come on now. Look at this, y'all. So he called us. Jesus said, call him. Isn't it amazing? Jesus went around you. You sitting here chasing Jesus like, hey, Jesus, I've been around here carrying your clothes. I've been around here cooking for you, walking with you. And you going to call this person you just met 2 minutes ago? I've been serving you. I've been your friend for 15 years, and you doing more for them than you doing for me? Right? This is something else, right? This is why Judas came. So they called the blind man. Cheer up. On your feet. Ain't that something? How is it? I like it though. The one Jesus that was following Jesus, they had to tell that man to cheer up, right? Y'all the one that just told me to shut up. Now y'all telling me to cheer up, right? The reason I'm crying is because you telling me to shut up, and you don't know how desperate I am. You don't know what I'm going through right now. I'm going blind. I'm blind in relationships. I'm blind when it comes to parenting. I'm blind when it comes to filling out applications, my credit. I'm blind to how credit work. I'm sitting here living on a system that's not my system. Take me off life support. What am I saying? I'm living off of Section A. I'm living off Link and Wick. And I should be living off what God showed me and told me. But today, guys, he's rerouting this thing. We finna come up off a lot of stuff. But guess what? It was all his plan. It was all his plan. Look at this. Let's go deeper. Cheer up. You told me to shut up. Now you tell me to cheer up, right? On your feet. But you saw me on the ground, but you didn't lift me up. You had to wait till somebody else told you to help me. Ain't this amazing? You saw my condition, but you had to wait till somebody else told you, right? Look at this. This is even deeper. Watch this. He's calling you. Ain't that something? I don't really need all this. He's calling you. Ain't that something? If he's calling me, excuse me, get out my way. He's calling me, right? He threw his clothes to the side. He jumped up on his feet. I pray that many of you, you have a bounce back. You have a jump up. I might have been blind in my last 10 relationships. Try 20. I probably done had 50 relationships, right? And it took me nowhere. Do you hear me? Went nowhere. So did I date these people? Absolutely not. We ain't travel out the community. Do you hear what I'm saying right now, you guys? Some of you, your relationship ain't bear one fruit, but a responsibility. Some of you, the person you was with, you ain't birthed nothing but a responsibility. And that was a child. And you still trying to raise that child on your own. Ain't that something? Can't find love, already been hindered. You trying to go in a relationship. What you got? You got a responsibility coming in. My responsibility should be just loving and being a loving person. But I got to come in saying, well, I got a child I take care of. I got a kid in school right now. I'm overseeing. You came in already maxed out. Credit done already been misused. Sitting here already budgeting, got a job. Where do you have time to even have a relationship with a significant other? Come on, y'all. We got to get real about this thing right now. We ain't had a fair shot at life in a long time. But today, the truth is but going to set you free. Look at this. Watch this. Watch this. Here go us right here, and I'm done. Here go us right here. Call him, so he comes. So they call the blind man, get up, throw your clothes aside. He jumped on his feet and came to Jesus. Looking at Jesus. What do you want me to do for you? Stop right here. The verse we just read, did not Jesus ask them, what do you want me to do? And they said, we want to sit on this side and this side. We want you to do whatever I ask you. But when he asks you what you want, what do you want from him? You don't have an answer. Many of us, we don't have an answer because we're not working towards a plan. We have to have a reason to ask what it is we want. We got to ask why. See, we can answer what we want, but we got to know why. Well, I just want to be involved with somebody. Why? The next thing, being involved with someone, requires a why. Because God, you got so much in me that needs to be given away. But many of us, your why is because I don't want to be by myself. That is the wrong why. I have too much, God. I need to be an example to others. I need to be the miracle to others. I need to be the game changer for others. God, I'm ready for you to use me. Give it to me. I'll make sure they get it. That used to be one of my prayers. God, if you bless me with it, I will bless those you tell me to bless. I will wait for you to tell me to give to whoever you tell me to give it to. I won't move. If you give it to me, you could trust me that those that you tell me to not give nothing to, I won't touch them. I won't give them nothing. And that's hard for some of you because you might say it, but you don't display it because you haven't showed him that you don't know how to tell people, no, you still falling in for the trap. But today, we finna reclaim this throne right now. Look at this. What do you want me to do for you? Jesus asked. The blind man said, what am I saying? Many of us, we just been blind. Blind because you wanted more out of them than you wanted out of you. The man is a man, right? So you can't want more out of a man when you're not a man. You should want more out of a woman for a man, if you're a woman. And as a man, most men, they pray in the direction of finances and security. And most women, you want the man to be the provider, right? But at the end of the day, did not God create you as the helpmate? Or whatever the mate that you're supposed to be, right? Helpmate, soulmate, whatever mate. The bottom line is you're supposed to complete the picture. But at the end of the day, you get frustrated. Why? Because you're looking at him and you're not asking God for what you need to be a better you. Because what you might need might not belong with him. It might belong with the next one. But you allow this one to train you to look at the individual. And now when you get in the next one, you still the same person, and that has not been an upgrade. There's nothing bigger about you. There's nothing better about you. There's nothing greater about you. So God gets no honor out of you, and that's why you're not a contender in this thing called life. Remember, the race is not given to the quick and swift, but it's the one who will endure. He say, who enter in life and does not train? Many of us, you supposed to be training for the glory, that God get glory out of you. See, we want people who God get glory out of. But why don't God get glory out of you? That's because there's no honor when it comes down to what makes you you. If you're not practicing, then you're cheating. If you're not constantly refreshing yourself, then you're cheating. If you're not working out, then you're cheating. If you're not going to put something on it, then you're cheating. You can't have a friend and don't recognize that we need a ship to go somewhere. You can't be the only taker and never a giver. And if you're giving, can you be that I'm giving what God gave me, not what my mind gave me, not what my girls gave me, not what my environment gave me? Why do I poison you with what was and I should be living in what is? What is what we have now and what it will be, what it will manifest into. But for some of us, we can't get to the manifestation because a lot of things done stole our motivation. We're not motivated. Why? Because of the things that's around us, the things we participated in. So this blind man said, Rabbi, I want to see. I want to see. God, I pray today, Lord, yeah, that we could see that we ain't done what we should have done. We ain't seen what we have done, the problems we have caused in our past. Father God, I come before you right now asking that you will restore every area. We didn't see this coming, but today, God, we line ourselves up and we ask that the scales will fall off when it's time to look at our finances, fall off when it's time to look at people, fall off when it's time to look at your word, fall off when it's time to hear. Enable our ears that we can hear you, and when you speak, we say, yes, God, yes, Lord, because we know it is you speaking to us and through us right now. God, thank you for revelation that you're providing for us right now. Thank you that, God, that people that has now tried to rebuke us, that tried to belittle us, that tries to hide us, that tried to shut us down, that tried to jump on our backs to do what? To slow us down, tried to overload us with problems, reminding us what we don't have, keep asking for stuff that they don't need, because the more we give is the more we live without. Come on now. God, I pray that we can see things like we never saw before, see the mistakes, see what made us fall, see where we at right now and what we need to do at this point. Just like this man that was blind. Rabbi, we want to see. I want to see you, God. I want to see you in my finances. I want to see you in my relationships. I want to see you in my parenthood, my womanhood, my adulthood. I want to see you now. I want to be able to see you in my childhood, see you in my neighborhood, see you in my selfhood. But I do not just want to be hood, but I want to see you under my hood of my car, changing my oil, making sure that my motor don't start knocking. Come on, y'all. We got to get serious about this thing. At the end of the day, I cannot tell them how to be a parent when I don't know how to be one myself. But at the end of the day, I got enough in me to come to you, God, on my last breath or my last stretch. That's my offer. I just wants to see. And what happened? What happened? Jesus said in Jesus' name, let's go. Light your fire for that. Light your fire for that right there. And Jesus said in verse 52, go. Go. G-O. Go. He didn't run his mouth. He didn't say my problem is. He didn't ask you to explain anything. He didn't ask you to tell me why it did not work. He didn't ask me to sit here and tell you, give him an explanation. Listen, learn, and execute. Go meaning go. Right? Some of us, we still stuck because you have, I pray and cancel out any resistance right now. You still have this Rosa Parks bus mentality. Some of we fight for nothing. We've been so used to fighting in a relationship, so used to finding out if they doing wrong. I don't want to look stupid. And some of you living underneath somebody else's information, meaning it happened to them, and you so scared you don't want it to happen to you. And they telling you in the name of, girl, let me tell you what happened in this because I don't want it to happen to you. Keep it to yourself, because if you tell me, then you just affected me. But see, we so blind, we don't know this. But today, we got to expose the enemy right now. It says, go, said Jesus, your faith. Faith is the substance. Your faith, I am my life coach. Your faith, I'm my life coach, not yours. Your faith, invisible crown, character and attitude. Your faith, right? The Mighty Monday Meltdown, right? Your faith, I am my life coach too, right? Your faith, bigger, better, greater. Your faith, it's about to get better for me, right? For me, right? Your faith has healed you. Your faith has healed you. You mean to tell me some of you repeat certain things over and over and over again, and you already been healed. So you keep talking about problems that doesn't really exist. And that is what causes the illness. Some people get sick because they practicing the wrong behavior. They get sick because they doing things out of routine and they're not living, so that's sin. I know people that don't drink. I know people that don't smoke. I know people that ain't even having sex, right? And yet they mind still say, we was born into sin. When was you born again? Because the moment you born again, then you ain't born into sin no more. Because you now have a conscious mind. It's called higher self. You give thoughts to everything you do. And if you did do it, that's what you chose to do. It ain't got no harm on you. You done more damage in your past life than you could ever do in this new life. This is a new perspective, you guys, and we're going to have a new perspective, which going to open up a new way. It's called the alternate route, and you're going to get everything that's been denied because God released it already on your behalf. You just got to go get it. You just got to go get it. That's why he said go, said Jesus. There's nothing else to tell you but go. He didn't have to pray to God and say, Father, do this. It was already yours. So he didn't have to pray for you. He didn't have to hit you with a sermon. He had to hear what you had to say. Many of you, the reason you stuck, because somebody got to hear what you have to say. They got to hear you. They got to hear your revelation. They got to hear what's going on, what's troubling you, what's the issue. You got to open up your mouth and say, no, I want to love somebody. I want to cook for somebody. I want to support somebody. I want to be there for somebody. I don't care if they're not there for me. I was born to be for somebody because I got enough in me to do this. Come on, y'all. Yeah. I ain't got to beg like a blind person. My eyes is open now. I can see. I can see right here. Go. That's how Jesus said, go. We over here standing in a long line waiting at the altar. What you waiting for? Jesus told you go. Go. Said Jesus. Your faith has healed you. Listen. Immediately. Light your fire. Immediately. I told somebody about a blessing. They said, well, that's not true. I said, what do you mean? They said, it takes 21 days to create a habit. Now, I'm a self-empowerment coach. I teach it takes 21 days to create a habit. It takes 21 days to break a habit. Add 7 more days. That's 28 days to break a habit. But that's from the worldly perspective. Let's not get it twisted. Motivation is motivation. Motivation could be education. See, you got inspiration and you got motivation. So you got to know if we talking in the spirit or we talking about in the natural. Because when we talking about the natural, then I got a different energy. We talking about in the spirit, you might get something different. But I'm just balancing it out, just trying to see which way you taking this. But this right here in the scriptures, right? See, somebody always want to challenge me. You know, it takes 21 days for a habit. Bible said immediately. Bible said immediately. Immediately. Jesus gave them the command. Go. Your faith has healed you. Immediately. He received his sight and followed Jesus along the road. How he couldn't follow Jesus? Because he could not see Jesus. And that's many of us. We keep talking about God, hearing about God, but ain't none of us really experiencing God. And today, how do we experience God? We experience him through Jesus. And when you experience him, that's because you can see now. You can see what will make you bigger. You can see what will make you better. You can see what will make you greater. And sometimes it's seeing your way out of what you've been in. Sometimes it's being around new people because old people got a problem with what's in you. And every time your light come on, you blind them. So guess what? You around people, but when your light come on, you blind them. They can't see. You get what I'm saying? So they want your lights to go off so y'all all could be in the dark. But your lights is on today. Light your fire and thank God for that. Immediately, the lights came on. He was able to see. And when he was able to see, he followed the one who cut the lights back on. And all I'm trying to tell you is along the road. That means we got a long road ahead. But you better stay close to people that got lights on. Because if not, your lights will blind them. And you know when somebody blind, first thing they do is start fighting you. They start fighting because guess what? You got too much light on them, so they trying to block your light out. So they want you to cut your light off. And you keep trying to accommodate them. Cut your lights back on. You need to see everything. You need to see what's in it for you. You need to see how does this benefit me. You need to see, well, how does this work for me. You need to see what this look like in 3 months, what this look like in 6 months. See, we're going to focus on the plan and not the problem. We're going to focus on the plan and not the problem. Isn't it amazing? People want to show up in your life and they don't come up with a plan. They come up with a problem. And your problem is you talk too much. Well, what I'm talking about got something to do with God. What you talking about got something to do with me. And at the end of the day, the only one we missing out on is you, because you don't exist. You's a nobody. There's no honor in what you're doing and who you doing and why you doing the way you doing it. But guess what? That's not my problem. That's something you're going to live with. And I'm sure that's something you're going to die with. I'm going to keep it moving. Thank you guys for your time. Thank you for sharing this broadcast. I hope this message met you at a place that it allowed you to kind of see how amazing it is to talk to God, to be with God, to walk with God, to run with God, to lay with God, to swim with God, to eat with God, to sleep with God. Hey, he's everywhere. The truth be told, if you're blind, you need to open up your eyes and see. I'm not talking about these eyes and see. I'm talking about taste and see. Taste and see. Taste and see that the Lord has been good. And when you realize how good he's been, then maybe you'll see how he's going to use you so that somebody can see how good you are and you will get a return for your labor. You will enjoy the fruits of your labor. But for many of us, if you ain't enjoyed the fruits from your labor, then maybe you laboring in the wrong soil or the wrong garden. And God is calling you to labor in an area that will give you the harvest of milk and honey. That right there is worth the fire. Light your fire for that right there. Peace and blessings. I see you guys Saturday on Facebook in the 5 o'clock wildfire. That's me, AJ the Wildfire. I'll be lighting that fire and hope that we can self-empower, personal development, and have some personal growth. One move is better than no move. Ain't that something? Take care. Peace and blessings. It's my time.